Hello, beautiful people of the world! Welcome to the Cross Culturally podcast channel. Today, we're going to talk about the concept of a cultural lens, why is it important to become aware of it, and how you can achieve that. This is the introduction episode 0, so you're most likely new here. So therefore, let me tell you, there's an Instagram account at Cross Culturally where you can find more informational material and also behind the scenes. If you're already following me there, thank you so much for your support. It warms my heart anytime you like, comment or share. Alright, so first let's talk about what it is. Imagine the cultural lens as your personal, unique way of perceiving the world around you. Some people might think it's only about the country you were born in, but that's not really true. It is not always that straightforward. Imagine someone who was born in one country. At the age of 2, moved to another country. His or her parents being originally from completely different country or culture. And then the kid goes to a not local school but international one. Will that kid has the same cultural lens as another kid which was born, raised, has gone to school at the same place while being raised by parents who grew up at the same culture? Well, no. There are so many factors that play a role in how our cultural lens looks like. The cultural lens consists of all cultural experiences we've been immersed in our life. For example, country of origin, the way we were raised in, culture we were raised in, what culture and how our parents were raised, or our grandparents, countries we've lived in, religion, immigration, work experiences. Do you work in an international company or a local company? Are your colleagues from different countries or are they all from the same one? Also, people you hang out with. Do you hang out with local people who speak the same language and were raised the same way? Or do you hang out with international groups where people come from many various environments? The factors that have shaped how our cultural lens looks like vary. But why is it important to even talk about it? And why we should become aware of it? The cultural lens is something we all have and is formed during childhood so deeply that many people do not even realize it's there. Picture the cultural lens as actual glasses. Glasses which you wear and you're so used to that you forget are there. We get so used to seeing the world through the lens that we start to consider what we see through that lens as objective normal, but it isn't. What you see through that lens is your personal, unique view of normal. The danger of it is that all your decisions and opinions are formed while looking through the lens. If you are not careful, you can easily misuse words because you give them meaning based on your lens, not on their actual meaning. Let me give you an example. As someone growing up in Europe, we would easily refer to islands with beaches, palms and sand as exotic places. But the meaning of the word exotic is foreign or non-native. So people living on those islands could easily refer to places in Europe as exotic because they're not familiar with them, they are foreign to them. But I've honestly never heard anyone referring to Europe as exotic. Maybe people do, and that's great, but in my mind it feels like exotic are only places where, you have a lot of beaches and sand. And that's not correct because that's not what the word actually means. This can have a more damaging effect or even racist undertone if we refer to people of color as exotic. And yes, I've heard that. I don't know if people of color refer to white people as exotic, but I've definitely heard it the other way around. In terms of, oh, now I want to date someone more exotic. I'm not saying that people use those words with the initial idea to hurt someone, but not knowing is not an excuse. And you should be aware of the actual meaning of words and not only those meanings which you sort of picked up while living in a certain culture. Being aware of your cultural influence which navigates all your comments and decisions and opinions, is crucial. And how you can become aware of your cultural lens, you're asking? The only way how to do that is to expose yourself to different cultures, people with different backgrounds, different beliefs and experiences. Now you might be thinking, well, good advice, but how can I meet people from different countries? I'm working full-time, I have seriously no time to do that. Or you might be afraid what to ask the person. Won't they get offended? What if I ask anything inappropriate? What if I cross the line? I don't want to get myself embarrassed. Well, let me help you with that. This podcast will bring you amazing conversations with individuals from countries all over the world. Listen actively, observe, and learn from people about their own cultural lens. Think critically, and then reflect to your personal view. Do not judge those differences. No one's normal is better than anyone else's. Stereotypes are not something to be laughed at, but to be discussed and understood, because in the end we are all human beings, and deep in our heart we all want the same things. We just have different ways of achieving them. Listening to this podcast takes no effort. You just easily have to press the play button and you can expand your cultural lens, which will help you to understand this lovely but sometimes confusing world we currently live in. I'm really excited you have decided to take the next step in order to become more of a global citizen. Next time we're going to talk to my friend from Germany, and do not forget about the Instagram @crossculturally. And one last thing, consider sharing this podcast with someone who might find it interesting or someone you might think would benefit from it. Well, that was all from me for today, and see you soon. Bye bye. This is the end. This is the end episode. That was nice. Cheeky candle over there. That's not English correct. So, was absolutely something else I've written, but super stressed. I just skipped. And therefore, let me tell you, no. Anyway, let's say it again. And I make mistakes. There's a dark behind me. It's getting dark. Yeah. Lovely. Even better, because now I can actually see that. Where is it?